Hi, my name is J.D. Douglas. I was watching television when I heard this.
When I was 14, so imagine that you've gone through your history, you've done all your GCSEs, and I've never seen anybody of colour. And I watched a play called Black History in the Hall of Fame. No, it was called Black Heroes in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and they were showing all these black figures who had done amazing things, positive role models, and I was like, this is incredible. So much so, me and my mum were like, should we go and watch it again? We watched it again. It had a really big impact on me, and I just thought it was amazing.
The show premiered in July 1987 at the Shaw Theatre in London. The show was devised and directed by Philip Fraser, musical director Kareem Jamal, choreography by Clive Johnson, and the script was written by yours truly. The iconic logo of the show was designed by Patrick Abrahams, also known as AB, seen here next to our sound engineer, Bertie Grant. As someone who was at the start and at the heart of black heroes in the Hall of Fame, I'd like to show you some personal highlights, starting with the great queens of Africa.
Let us greet and welcome the great women rulers of Africa as we introduce to the Hall of Fame Queen Aminatu of Nigeria, Queen of the Hausa Empire, noted as a woman of vision and a fearless warrior. Beautiful is the beauty of Aten. Queen Nefertiti was renowned throughout antiquity and is revered up to this day. Consort of the Pharaoh Akhenaten, mother-in-law of the Pharaoh Tutankhamun. Queen Cleopatra ascended to the throne of Egypt when she was only 18 years old. She shared the throne with her brother Ptolemy. Her beauty is legendary. Quote, if you the men of Ashanti will not go forward, then we the women will fight our oppressors until the last of us falls in the battlefields. So said Ya Asantewa, warrior queen from the kingdom of Asante. Queen Charlotte Sophia, grandmother of Queen Victoria. She is honored in the Hall of Fame as a reminder of the contribution of black people to the history and creation of the British Empire. The Hall of Fame pays tribute to the great queens of Africa. We now pay tribute to the great kings of Africa as we greet Hannibal, ruler of Carthage 200 years before Christ, a legendary tactician. Hannibal's military tactics have been used through the ages up until this day. A fearless fighter and astute administrator, Hannibal led his people to many victories and to great prosperity. The legendary king Akhenaten was Pharaoh of Temeri over 1300 years before Christ. also known as Amenhotep IV. He was the founder of monotheism, the worship of one God, an achievement wrongly accredited to Moses. Welcome Menes, also known as Nama. He was the first pharaoh of the United Kingdoms of Upper and Lower Egypt. The man who defeated the Asian invaders and united Egypt 3,100 years before Christ. Founder of the ancient city of Memphis. This great king helped to make Egypt one of the most advanced civilizations on earth. The Zulu king Shaka, leader of the Mtetwas tribe and supreme commander of the Zulus, an expert with the Esege spear. Shaka revolutionized the Zulu army. Famous for his military tactics, he perfected complex battle formations that confused his enemies. Shaka was a true African warrior. The great king Monomotopo was the original ruler of the region we now call Zimbabwe, one of the oldest civilizations on earth. Son of the great Ras Makanen and descendant of the Queen of Sheba, Rastafari was ordained Haile Selassie I when he ascended to the imperial throne of Ethiopia in 1930. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Rastafari.
Until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Well, everywhere there is war.
Fighting for freedom is something that the black man always had to do. The struggle continues. We still have to fight for our freedom today. Just ask the warriors who defended the motherland from the slave traders and the invaders. Just ask the guerrilla soldiers of Southern Africa. Freedom fighters in unity, fighting for the destruction of apartheid. She was as strong as a man, as brave as a lion, and as cunning as a fox. She helped to free many slaves from the Underground Railroad. Her nickname was Moses. Her name was Harriet Tubman. Gangazuma was the king of the Republic of Pamarez, the largest maroon settlement in the world, which was created in Brazil in 1575. They were constantly attacked by the Portuguese army, but repelled them for over 120 years. Today, African Brazilians still celebrate his achievements. Nat Turner was a preacher. He was the leader of the largest and most significant slave rebellion in the history of the United States. He was later captured, convicted, and hanged. Nat Turner was a brave man. He was a hero. Sam Sharp was a member of the Baptist Church in Montego Bay in Jamaica, when religious meetings were the only permissible form of organized activity for slaves. By using the church network, he spearheaded a plan of passive resistance to demand better treatment and respect for all slaves. On December the 27th, 1831, all hell broke loose as slaves from all over the island started the rebellion that eventually led to the abolition of slavery. He was convicted as the leader of the rebellion and he was hanged in Montego Bay in the square which today still bears his name.
Get up and fight for your rights, my brothers. Get up and fight for your rights, my sisters. Get up and fight for your rights, my brothers.
Sojourner Truth was a runaway slave. She was one of the first black women to speak out against slavery. And she was invited to the White House by the President Abraham Lincoln. Sojourner Truth, freedom fighter, we salute you. Frederick Augustus Douglass was the greatest orator of the abolitionist movement. Born a slave, he became a free man and denounced the evils of slavery. He fought for universal suffrage, women's rights, and world peace. He held a variety of government jobs, and he can be credited as the driving force behind the Emancipation Proclamation. Rosa Parks was a brave woman. She sat in a whites only seat on a bus in Alabama, and her actions led to the famous Alabama bus boycott. She gave birth to Dr. Martin Luther King's civil rights movement. Let us now welcome Angela Davis, our soul sister from the 60s, still a force to be reckoned with. Tell it like it is, sister. We now pay tribute to the Black Panthers. They helped to organize free breakfast for the poor blacks in the ghettos of Oakland, California. They defended their people from the policeman's heat.
My name is Marcus Mosiah Garvey. As a young man, I traveled the world trying to find the black man's government, his kingdom, his army, his navy, his power base, and I could not find one. Then I, Marcus, decided that I would wait man. My people, my doctrine is one of Pan-Africanism. By this I mean that I believe that Africa has a great civilization, and her sons and her daughters, regardless of their displacement in the world, should be proud, yes, proud to be Africans.
I, Nelson Mandela, great-grandson of King Mbaqanyi Swagata, who ruled the temples, would like to welcome you tonight with the same words I spoke at my trial. I cherish the idea of a democratic and free society in which all persons can live in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal for which I hope to live for and see realized. But Lord, if need be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
My name is Malcolm X. And for those of you who don't know, the X means that I'm an ex-slave. To quote one of my favorite songs, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. The words of Robert Nesta Marley. You see, Marley was a revolutionary, a man who used words and music as a weapon. To those of you who believe in nonviolence, I say any leader who preaches nonviolence in the face of violence is doing a disservice to his people. How can you ask the victim to disarm him or herself in the face of grave danger and personal harm? I myself would go for nonviolence if it were consistent.
We've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. That's why I can say I have a dream. I have a dream that young black boys will seize the opportunity of a good education. I have a dream. I have a dream that young men, young black men will take on the responsibility of fathering their children in the community. I have a dream.
Florence Nightingale took all the honors, but it was Mary Seacole who displayed fearless qualities of bravery and performed acts of heroism in the Crimean War. She attended wounded soldiers in the battlefields, and she was loved by everyone. She's a heroine in the Hall of Fame.
Crimean battlefields, many wounds and souls to heal. She never faltered, never worried. This brave Jamaican nurse paid her way help others first. She never faltered, never worried. Though she labored twice as hard, she was paid with no regard. Nightingale took all the fame with no mention of her name. Tell me, how can this be so? For the truth, yes, we all know. Full time we give the praise to a lady recognized by the name of Mary Seacole. Mary was her name. Her selflessness proclaimed.
Mary Jane MacLeod Bethune was a giant. So much so that President Herbert Hoover appointed her to the White House Conference on Child Health. President Franklin D. Roosevelt made her the Director of Negro Affairs, and President Truman appointed her as his personal representative to Liberia's independence. Yes, she was a special advisor to 3 presidents.
Bessie Coleman was born in 1892. She was educated at a one-room all-black school in Texas, but excelled as a student and was determined to be a pilot. She learned French and in 1920 traveled to Paris to enroll at the American Flight School. In 1921, she became the first black woman to become a qualified airline pilot.
She was introduced to the world of science at a very early age and soon developed interests in anthropology, archaeology, and astronomy before attending Stanford University at the age of 16. She went on to receive a Doctor of Medicine degree from Cornell University. She was the first black female astronaut, and she also practiced medicine on 3 continents. We introduce Dr. Mae Jemison.
Hi, my name is Lorraine Hansberry. I'm a Chicago-born painter and playwright, and my work includes To Be Young, Gifted, and Black, and The Belgian Congo, which I wrote under the supervision of W.E.B. Du Bois. You'll get to meet later. Now, my father, a leading Republican, won an anti-segregation case brought before the Illinois Supreme Court, and I wrote a play called A Raisin in the Sun, which was loosely based on that case.
She was born in rural poverty in Mississippi, but today she's the host of the highest-rated talk show in television history, the world's only black billionaire. We welcome the president of Harper Productions and one of the most popular African Americans of all time, Oprah Winfrey. We welcome you to the Hall of Fame.
We now pay tribute to the hard-working black mother. It could be my mother. It could be your mother. She's working hard to make ends meet and to keep the family together. The Hall of Fame recognizes the contribution of all conscious black mothers.
Ira Frederick Aldridge is the only black person with a bronze plaque at the world's famous Shakespearean Memorial Theatre at Stratford-upon-Avon. Born in New York City in 1807, he appeared in Hamlet, Richard III, The Merchant of Venice, and King Lear. He was the first black actor to play Othello on the professional stage, and he appeared at royal palaces in Germany, Russia, and Hungary.
We also present Booker T. Washington, founder of the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, in the deep south of the USA. He was one man who believed that through education, the black man would find his freedom.
W.E.B. Du Bois was the most prominent intellectual leader and political activist on behalf of African Americans. He was the father of Pan-Africanism and the founding member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. He wrote over 30 books and was the first black person to receive a PhD from Harvard University.
Dr. Charles Drew pioneered blood plasma preservation and introduced it on the battlefields in World War II. The British were so impressed, they commissioned him to organize the world's first blood bank. Irony of ironies, he died having been refused a blood transfusion.
In Russia, there is a mountain named after him. In Hounslow, Brooklyn, and Chicago, theaters bear his name. He's an accomplished linguist who can sing and communicate in more than 20 languages. A qualified lawyer, a film actor who starred in 11 films, and an all-round athlete. His portrayal of Othello still holds the record as the longest-running Shakespearean play on Broadway. Old Man River, Mr. Paul Robeson.
Old Man River, that old man river, he must know something, but he don't say nothing. He keeps on rolling, just keep on rolling along.
Let us now welcome the Nobel Peace Prize winner and the voice of peace that speaks in South Africa, the Bishop Desmond Tutu.
Brothers and sisters, you know, when the white man came to my country, he had the Bible and we had the land. And he asked us to close our eyes and pray. And we did. And when we opened our eyes, we had the Bible and he had the land.
In one day, he smashed 4 world records.
in the Berlin Olympics. He smashed Hitler's theory of Aryan supremacy. He won 4 gold medals. The supreme athlete, Jesse Owens. Even today, his performances would have made him a champion. Let us now meet
2 sporting stars
whose achievements have made them legends. From the world of football, Jim Brown, the man who rewrote all gridiron records. From baseball, Jackie Robinson, the first black player to make it to the professional ranks. Edson Arantes de Nascimento, the Black Pearl of Brazil, the greatest soccer player ever and scorer of over 1,000 goals in a glittering career spanning 4 World Cup tournaments. We pay tribute to Pelé. Pelé! He floats like a butterfly. He stings like a bee. The greatest boxer of all time, Muhammad Ali.
Let's check the guy playing the great Muhammad Ali. No, it's not Muhammad Ali. It is JD.
The first man to regain the heavyweight championship of the world 3 times.
From playing Muhammad Ali to playing Bishop Tutu, costume change. They call me the Fighting Bishop.
Put your hands together for the beautiful voice of a legendary Mr. Sam Cooke. Make some noise for Sam Cooke.
Come on, y'all.
Your arrow go straight to my lover's heart for me, Cupid, please hear me cry and let your arrow fly straight to my lover's heart. Hey, come on, y'all, let's twist, yeah. New York City, let me tell you about a place somewhere up New York away, now where the people are so gay, twisting the night away, yeah. There they have a lot of fun there, putting trouble on the wrong, and there you find old and young, twisting the night away. They're twisting, everybody's feeling great. They're twisting, they're twisting the night away.
A difference A day makes 24 little hours. But the sun and the flowers, where they used to be rain, my yesterday was blue deep. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear. Since you said you were mine, Lord, what a difference a day makes.
These arms of mine, they're yearning to hold you. These arms of mine, they are only lonely, lonely and feeling blue.
Only with him.
I know you will.
On the midnight train.
You're on the midnight train to Georgia.
I'd rather live in his world than live without him in my
world is here. His words alone.
When I was sick as a little kid, to keep me happy, there's a limit to the things you did. And all my childhood memories were full of all the sweet things you did for me. And even though I act crazy, I gotta thank the Lord that you made me. There are no words that can express how I feel. You never kept a secret, always stayed real. And I appreciate how you raised me and all the extra love that you gave.
Brothers, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're so right. We're gonna fight. We love to fight. We're gonna fight.
Come on, I want to see you wave your hands. Come on, wave your hands or clap your hands, anyone, and sing along. Come on, wave your hands. Let's hear your empire. Come on. What you say?
Justice and equality, they all fought for our liberty.
And what about our heroines? Lest they die in vain, fighting oppression day and night.
Come, let me see them hands in the air. Come on, make the dream come true at the empire.
We had a militant man. We had a plan. We set our people free.
Heroines like Harriet Tubman.
Look how many cheats they from the slave trade. That's why we need all of faith to promote our heroes. Yeah. Well, yeah. We need all of faith.